In the cold, Andean heights of Ayacucho lies a story Peru still struggles to speak about. The tragedy of Uchuracay, a remote indigenous community caught between fear, misinformation, and the violence of the 1980s. On January 26, 1983, 8 journalists traveled to Uchuracay to investigate reports of conflict between villagers and the Shining Path. They never returned. When investigators arrived days later, they found the journalists dead, beaten, stoned, and buried in shallow graves. The government immediately blamed the villagers, calling it a misunderstanding, claiming the community mistook the journalists for terrorists. But the truth was far darker. Uchuracay was isolated, forgotten by the state, and terrified after months of violence. Soldiers had told them that terrorists disguised themselves as civilians. The villagers were desperate, confused, and abandoned. And when strangers arrived speaking Spanish, a language many didn't understand, panic took over. The government's response made everything worse. Officials used the tragedy to justify militarizing the region. The villagers were portrayed as primitive, incapable of understanding modern society. The community was shamed, blamed, and left to collapse under the weight of guilt and national judgment. Within a year, Uchuracay itself was nearly wiped out. Many villagers fled. Others were killed in the crossfire between the military and the Shining Path. The town became a ghost of what it once was. To this day, Peru debates what really happened. Were the villagers manipulated? Did the military set them up? Why were the journalists sent without protection? Why did the state abandon Uchuracay afterward? It remains one of Peru's most painful mysteries, a story of fear, misunderstanding, and a community destroyed not by war, but by the silence and neglect of the nation meant to protect it. A tragedy where the victims were not only the journalists, but an entire town erased by history.